next news. Breaking news from the White House.
President Trump was just asked the question every American was thinking after the shocking White House Correspondents Dinner attack scare. Is he worried about another assassination attempt? Well, his answer was pure Trump, calm, direct, and absolutely unbreakable. I don't think about it. If I did, I wouldn't be effective. That's not the sound of a man retreating. That is the sound of a commander-in-chief refusing to let evil dictate the mission. And then in classic Trump fashion, he flipped the whole room with humor about wearing a bulletproof vest. But what he revealed next about security failures and the fix already underway, it changes everything. Now, this matters for every American because when the president shows weakness, the country pays for it. Enemies abroad watch, deranged radicals at home get encouraged, and the media circus, which spent years normalizing hatred towards Trump, suddenly wants to act shocked that danger followed. President Trump's response sent the exact opposite signal. America's not going into a crouch. He's staying focused, staying visible, and staying on offense. He also laid out why that ballroom setup was such a problem. Thousands of rooms above a major event space, elevators feeding directly towards the entrance, too many access points, too much exposure. That's exactly the kind of vulnerability the permanent political class tolerates until disaster strikes. But the Trump administration is doing what professionals do. They fix it. A hardened structure built to the highest security standards on time and on budget is replacing risk with control. That means stronger presidential security, smarter infrastructure, and one more example of competence returning to Washington under President Trump. And speaking of staying strong and taking practical steps instead of surrendering to fear, that mindset, well, I want to tell you about our sponsor, Red Light Therapy. You've probably seen the clip, Joe Rogan sitting with Mel Gibson, talking about people close to him who went through serious health struggles and then saw dramatic turnarounds. Rogan brings up light-based therapies and how they impact the body at the cellular level, and Gibson just says it straight, the stuff works. You see, that got my attention. In my own life, I watched something similar with my wife, dealing with constant discomfort and anxiety, and then I looked deeper into red light therapy and the research. Jonathan Otto has put together a great resource that you can get the tools you need at myredlight.com. So, if you've been curious, this is a smart place to begin. Visit myredlight.com and use NNN25 for 25% off individual items or NNN30 for 30% off bundles. Now, let's get back to the biggest takeaway here because the media missed the most important part of Trump's response. See, behind the scenes, while the press obsessed over optics, President Trump did something the cameras didn't stage and the pundits couldn't fake. According to the Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, Trump personally called the officer who was shot, not for applause, not for a headline. Curran called him a class act and thanked him publicly. And that is real leadership, strength in public, compassion in private. And while the establishment keeps trying to freeze Trump in crisis mode, he's already moving to the next phase, securing the presidency and advancing the America First agenda. Here's President Trump asked the question, is there talks about you potentially wearing a bulletproof vest? Listen to his response.
Is there talks about you potentially wearing a bulletproof vest moving forward, given you have now been shot at?
I don't know if I can handle looking 20 pounds heavier. These guys, they look so good. Some of these guys are physical specimens. Some of these guys are trouble. I don't want to be near him. If you want to gain 20 to 25 pounds, get a vest. And frankly, the vest did an amazing job because it took a bullet close up. And he didn't even want to go to the hospital. I mean, we sent him to the hospital just in case, but he didn't want, still a hit. But he didn't want to go to the hospital. The vest totally protected him. Still a lot of power behind that shot, though. That's like getting hit by Mike Tyson. But it's amazing. I've been asked about that, and I guess it's something you consider. In one way, you don't like to do it because you're giving into a bad element, and so I don't know. But I have been asked about it.
I have not asked about it. Trump shrugs off the fear, even cracks a joke. But he's not just projecting confidence. Now he's rolling out a plan. He says it could turn working Americans into real savers. This is the new TrumpIRA.gov website he just announced today. Check this out.
Beginning at the start of next year, every American will be able to go to TrumpIRA.gov and open a new low-cost IRA account. You'll then be able to access the same type of retirement accounts that federal employees enjoy through the thrift savings plans, which are incredible. As part of the Federal Savers Match Program, low-income Americans will be eligible to receive up to $1,000 per year in matching funds deposited directly into their accounts. It's a great thing. For millions of Americans who lack employer-sponsored plans, this will be really revolutionary because they'll be covered. Nobody thought that was possible. For example, if a 25-year-old who is eligible for a Savers Match Program invests just $165 a month under the matching federal contributions, they will have an estimated $465,000 in their account by the time they're 65 years old. In other words, they'll be rich.
Wow.
And there's something awfully nice about that. But this is only the first step.
Add that with the Trump baby plan. What was that thing called? So that's Trump moving from survival to prosperity, laying out a concrete plan for low-income Americans to build wealth. Next, Secret Service Director Sean Curran shares a personal gesture from Trump after the officer was shot.
Well, you just brought up President Trump. I just would like to take a moment to thank him. I know he doesn't like the spotlight sometimes, but what I will tell you is he took a moment to call our officer that was shot, and as always, a class act, and very grateful that he took the time to do that.
So praise matters because it cuts through the usual media poison about Trump and law enforcement. Next, Trump gets Sean Curran asks about. Oh, we just played that clip. My bad. How nervous are you about it happening again? Another assassination attempt.
How nervous are you about it happening again? Another assassination attempt?
I don't think about it.
You don't think about it at all?
If I did, I wouldn't be doing a very good job here. I'd be thinking about nothing but that. I don't think about it. I don't think about it. If I did, I wouldn't be effective.
Trump says he's focused. If he focused on another attempt, he couldn't do the job. Next, he gets into the security response itself, praising the Secret Service and explaining that location was just such a tough setup. Listen.
There's been some talks about changes to your security after what took place.
Changing my security.
Changing your security after what took place.
Well, they did a pretty good job, actually. You know, they stopped the NFL running back. I mean, he was like a running back. In fact, if he ever got out, they're probably going to sign him. He was a speedy guy. But he was stopped. They had many levels in front of him before he would even come to us. You know, you could be a baseball team and win 19-0, and somebody could say, you should have won 21. You should have gotten 25 runs. The team was no good or something. So I don't know. I can only say that I know a lot of those people at Secret Service, and they were good and they were forceful. And I saw the guys in front of me. They were powerful-looking guys. I said we could send them to Hollywood. They could make movies. I think that there's always room for improvement, right? And he got into the building. The problem is I know that's what I do. I build buildings like that. Much nicer, actually, but I build buildings like that. And, you know, when you have 1,000 rooms sitting on top of a ballroom, and you have the elevators coming down right near the entrance, it's a pretty tough situation. Now, right outside, we have something that's on time, on budget, actually ahead of time, and ahead of budget depending on finishes. You know, finishes, there's a big difference between marble and onyx in price, but it's right on budget, right on time. And that's built to the highest standards of security. No units on top, no hotel built on top where an elevator comes right down through the middle of it. It's a tough location. That's a tough location. So I I think, I know the people at Secret Service, I think they're great.
President Trump laying it out, destroying the fear after the White House attack scare. So here's the truth the establishment does not want you to sit with for even a minute. The attempts failed. The intimidation failed. And the mission did not slow down. Trump praised the Secret Service for stopping a speedy guy before he got close, acknowledged there's always room to improve, and pointed directly to a more secure setup already being built. Then he pivoted straight into policy, rolling out TrumpIRA.gov, a plan that could let every American open a low-cost retirement account with low-income workers eligible for up to $1,000 a year in matched deposits. See, that's the real headline. They tried chaos. Trump answered with courage, security reform, and wealth building for the American people. That's what winning looks like. So let's sum this up, shall we? President Trump's not hiding. He's not rattled. And he's not backing off an inch. He's leading exactly the way the country needs right now. Steady under pressure, grateful to the agents who protect the nation, and focused on delivering real results for working Americans. And the press wanted drama. Trump gave them resolve. The bad guys wanted fear. Trump gave them a message. You took your shot, and you still didn't stop America first. So if you agree this is real leadership, share this video right now, leave a comment, and subscribe. And answer this yes or no question. Does Trump's response prove he's the strongest president of our lifetime? And to beat the algorithm and get updates directly from me, text raw feed to that number on the screen, 844-840-4963. Make sure you check out the next news merch shelf below this video. Stay bold, stay informed, and keep fighting for the country that we love.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.